Michael Bay is officially coming back to direct another live-action Transformers movie, and while that sentence alone may be enough to send shockwaves beyond the fandom across the greater internet, there's one more move that would instantly make this movie one of the most anticipated blockbuster sequels of all time. Bringing back the original human lead, Sam Witwicky, played by, of course, the one and only Shia LaBeouf, the face of the first trilogy. But how could that actually happen? Is it even possible after everything that's happened both in the movies and in real life? Today, let's dive into how Michael Bay's upcoming Transformers movie could bring back the original Sam Witwicky and why it may just work to perfection. Let's get right into it. Let's start with where things currently stand. After Transformers The Last Knight bombed with critics and left audiences confused and disappointed, Paramount effectively put the Bayverse on ice. Or so we thought. We've had Bumblebee, a good buddy bot solo film that Lorenzo forced references into in a disappointing effort to tie the film to the Bayverse, going as far as to force the exclusion of Megatron from the Cybertron sequences to be able to say that it's due to him already being frozen on Earth in Sector 7, which we obviously know is not true. But this was followed by Rise of the Beasts, which leaned more into the G1 nostalgia, but Lorenzo still contradicted the director, Stephen Cable Jr., who numerous times asserted this was a new continuity despite sharing some references and design cues from the Bayverse. It took inspiration, but this was a soft reboot, new continuity. Most notably, though, there were still many things that were similar, with the facial similarities between Optimus, of course, Bumblebee, and things like that. But now, the future of live-action Transformers installments is uncertain, to put it simply. We have an idea about a potential Rise of the Beast G.I. Joe crossover sequel, which we've heard nothing of in the 2 years since its announcement at the end of the last movie's release. We've still had little to no updates or evidence on any progress at all with that story. After that, we got Transformers 1, which was critically praised and beloved by fans, but flopped at the box office due to the utter failure from the marketing team. And currently, the outlook for Transformers movies has certainly seen better days. But out of nowhere, we get this. Michael Bay is back, confirmed to be producing a new film in the franchise with hopes of reaching also that director's chair. Whether it's a soft reboot, a Bayverse continuation, or something completely new is still very unclear. But Bay's return opens up the door for his characters to return, and no character defined his run more than LaBeouf's Sam Witwicky. If you watched one of my previous videos from about a year ago, What Happened to Sam Witwicky After Transformers 3, you know Sam basically just vanishes after Dark of the Moon. He's never mentioned in Age of Extinction, and in The Last Knight, we get only a handful of information and cryptic lines, almost implying that he might have died, with Sir Anthony Hopkins' Sir Edmund Burton saying he was the last of the Witwickens, telling Mark Wahlberg's character Cade before they moved on to the discussion of Laura Haddock's Vivian and her relation to the line. But back to Sam himself, here's one thing. Nothing is confirmed. There's no body, no scene, and no real closure. Everybody knows in the entertainment world what that means. The door is wide open, narratively, for a return. So back to what we did learn about Sam in Transformers 5. Sam descended from a secret society called the Witwickens, humans who have protected the Transformers' secrets, supposedly, for centuries. This might have felt like a throwaway plot device at the time, but what if this is the key to bringing Sam back? Think about it. The Witwickens were tied to Cybertronian knowledge, ancient relics, and what we've seen with their technology, even time-bending technology. So, what if Sam was never killed, but rather hidden away, protected, or even preserved? Maybe he's just been in hiding, or maybe the most simple explanation is he just had enough and wanted a life of retirement to go and marry Carly and start a family. But there's so many ways you can do this. With Unicron now in play, and the potential for multiversal storytelling or time travel, there's plenty of room for Sam to reappear, especially in a darker, more serious way. And before people start throwing their hands up about time travel and multiverses, Transformers did this stuff first. From G1 to Beast Wars, this has always been a thing for more than 30 years. So for people throwing up their hands about, oh, Marvel's doing this, that, and the third, Transformers did it first. And I'm not necessarily saying that that would be the best way to do it, or it would even be my preferable option, but this may be something they lead towards, because Sam is already a character with literal blood connections to the Cybertronian artifacts from what we've seen specifically in Revenge of the Fallen. Sam himself literally died in that movie and went into the Matrix and was specifically given a second chance at life due to the will of the original 13 primes. So would it be so much of a stretch to say that he now possesses some kind of higher level of power or significance due to having that gift given to him from the Cybertronians themselves now after all he did as well for the Transformers? Who's to say a part of him wasn't forever captivated within the essence of the Matrix that Prime still carries, quite similar to what we're seeing develop right now in the Skybound Transformers comics, where Spike sacrifices himself, merging himself with the Matrix to juice it up with power, which is something we have not seen before, and it's also having unforeseen consequences with his consciousness merging with the still living Optimus Prime, doing things like imprinting memories and forcing unexpected actions. Obviously, I'm going down a bit of a rabbit hole here, but the precedent exists that Cybertronian tech has these mystic properties at times, and it could be a pathway to bringing Sam back if they went down the route that he was dead or lost or something like that. But again, that's just if he's dead. So what if Sam did survive? Maybe he just decided to go into exile. Maybe he broke mentally after all he'd been through, understandably. Or maybe he just wanted that happy ending and settled down with Carly to carry on a normal life. There's plenty of logical ways to bring him back, but some would certainly feel more cheaper than others. A burning question in the sequels without Shia around revolves around B and the seeming lack of complete care for his former best friend and life with Sam. There needs to be a valid enough reason that B would just forego his relationship unless Sam was again dead or gone, or again hiding or left on his own volition. So they're certainly not limited by options as one may think. The next film could introduce a world on the edge of collapse, with natural disasters shaking the planet. If they really wanted to pick up from the pieces we last got in the last night, maybe something went wrong, Quintessa or Megatron succeeded, and Unicron is in the process of awakening and beginning to rise. With the Earth in chaos, panicked governments attempt to keep order, with the fragmented remaining Autobots doing everything they can to somehow find a way to avoid the impending doom of the entire planet being obliterated with the rise of Unicron. When hope truly seems to be lost, they receive a contact from an old but familiar comms channel, a cryptic message from a thought-to-be long-lost human ally. They trace the signal only to find Sam, alive, older, and distinctly aware of the coming threat, maybe tied to the remnants of the Allspark or Unicron's awakening. Something that maybe Sam could sense due to his blood connection to the Matrix. Just as the Matrix is the light of the universe, there is an equal, or shall we say opposite, the heart of Unicron. Maybe bring the dark spark into play, but there's so much you can do with this, whether they do it some like end of the world last mission scenario where Sam is kind of pulled back into this because of all the things he's been through in this past life of his. But this would obviously be a much different Sam. No more of the goofy screaming, just a worn down, wise version of Sam who's truly been through hell and now is thrust back into the furnace. And in some ways, it would be quite poetic from where his character started to where we could see him end, and bringing the Bayverse full circle, letting Shia return on his terms. And that's where we get into some of the complicated stuff of this. Talking real life. Would Shia even return? Would he even want to do it? He's had a rocky relationship with Hollywood, but we've seen comeback arcs before. Just look at Brendan Fraser. Shia's issue was never the fans, it was the industry. But if Bay called him directly with a script that let him portray a broken, complex Sam, not a cartoonishly goofy protagonist that is stumbling, bumbling, rumbling around the plot, Shia LaBeouf and Michael Bay's relationship on the set of Transformers movies was reported to be complex and often described as a tough love dynamic. While they had a professional respect and appreciation for each other, it wasn't always smooth sailing. LaBeouf described Bay as a mentor figure, even calling him a sort of his big brother. However, he also acknowledged that Bay's directing style was demanding and sometimes intimidating, leading to tense moments. It's not impossible, especially with nostalgia trending harder than ever, this could be his redemption arc, both in universe and out of it. The biggest hurdle probably wouldn't even be the studio's desire to get Shia back, rather it would come down to the actor's personal passion and desire to return to the Transformers franchise. Shia LaBeouf left the Transformers franchise initially because he felt there was nowhere left to take his character after the first 3 films. He also expressed that he wasn't creatively fulfilled by the films and desired to work on even more grounded, story-driven projects. His personal life, and particularly the controversy surrounding him, likely contributed to this idea and perception that a return is unlikely. On top of this, his biggest in real life controversies occurred in 2014 and 2020, And since then, he has seemingly rebounded and both expressed apology and received support from numerous celebrity friends, most notably Jon Bernthal. Also good to note is that he gained roles such as a supporting antagonist in Francis Ford Coppola's Megapolis in 2024 and the lead role in a boxing drama Salvable in 2024. He also starred in the title role of Padre Pio in 2022, and LaBeouf was initially cast in Don't Worry Darling in 2022 but left the project early on. So basically just setting the precedent that there's no excuse that, oh, he's not getting work in Hollywood, he's too controversial, this, that, and the third. That is not a problem anymore. So point being, any worry from the lingering dark cloud, I doubt it will play any consideration if they want to bring him back for a Transformers role. So let me know, do you think that Michael Bay should bring Sam Witwicky back? Would you want to see Shia LaBeouf return to the role that launched him into superstardom? Or should the Bayverse stay in the past? Or maybe, even different, should Bay bring back Mark Wahlberg instead of Shia and return the cast from the more recent installations? Discuss in the comments down below. Let me know. Let's talk about it. That's all I've got for this one, though. Let me know in the comments down below. Likes, dislikes, anything is appreciated. And until next time, peace.